All right, moving on to black. Let's go ahead. Ruthless Ripper. I'm so happy that this got printed at common in a recent Masters set. I've actually had this Ugin's Fate promo again ever since I went to Dragons of Tarkir pre-release, and I have no idea what to do with it. I put it in my main cube, and then it became not powerful enough for my main cube. And it's ended up here. It's just great. This took the spot of Typhoid Rats, because Typhoid Rats is like super fun. But this is literally just better Typhoid Rats. So like it a lot. Love the fact that I got this Ugin's Fate promo. It's gorgeous. We got Carrion Feeder. So black-green is Aristocrats and sacking things. So this goes right into that. We got Mortician Beetle, same thing. Grafting Scoundrel is just a great 2-1 for 1. Doesn't have a lot of downside. This actually is testing in place of Vampire Lacerator because it doesn't deal you your own damage. There's a fair amount of aggressive decks in the cube, and I wanted to make sure that that black still had an edge and didn't have to keep dealing themselves damage going up against a Boros deck. We got another 1-drop in Vault Scourge. This is best played on turn 1, followed by turn 2 Bone Splitters and Equip. That's the ideal, of course. But just a great creature, has evasion, has lifelink. You just got to put some pants on this guy or give him a sword and he's good. Now we got Dusk Legion Zealot. Great for the life gain deck in Orzhov, because paying 1 life to draw a card is just totally fine. Basilica Screecher, another great flyer, can get in some damage even in the late game because it's got the evasion, and the Extort can just be chipping away at you, man. Mardu Skull Hunter is a really good aggressive card because if you've attacked with a creature, your opponent has to discard a card. Can really, make them make some hard decisions, and it still is a 2-mana piker. It's fine. Sultai Emissary is great. It's 1-1. It replaces itself. Another Ugin's Fate promo that I finally found a place for. Good for a lot of different decks. Yeah, good for aggro because it's hard to wrath or kill off a bunch of creatures. This guy will just come back as a manifest. But also it's 2 sack creatures in 1 nice convenient package. We got Mesmeric Fiend. This can also be used with flicker stuff, but oftentimes it's just a good duress. It's basically the common version of Kitesail Freebooter, and it does work. Child of Night for the life gain decks. Bloodflow Connoisseur for Aristocrats, another creature that you just make bigger by sacking dudes. We got Phyrexian Rager, just a staple in Pauper cubes, just absolutely awesome. Still trying to figure out if this is just a strictly better Dust Legion Zealot, but I'm testing that out right now. Wake Dancer is another way to get 2 dudes for 3 mana. Nantugo Husk, another good sack creature. Skymarch Bloodletter. Right now is not really the most optimal solution, but it does have evasion and it does drain life, so it's good for that Orzhov strategy. Gravedigger is just a classic card. Love having it into the cube. Vulturous Avens, another good thing that sacks dudes and allows you to draw some cards. Faceless Butcher is basically an Oblivion Ring. Not an Oblivion Ring. It's very similar to a Fiend Hunter in black. And still really, really good. I like it a lot. You can still do some shenanigans with flickering or sacrificing. You can throw down the Faceless Butcher and sack it before the other trigger resolves because there's 2 paragraphs. So we also have Falconwrath Noble, which is again for the Aristocrats. Also just a good flyer. And a vampire. That's nice. Gary, you gotta have Gary. Drains a lot of life. Excellent finisher, especially if you can find a way to bring it back from the graveyard again. We got Onigain Shinobis. This is another ninjutsu thing. If he deals combat damage to a player, discard 2 cards. So just swap this out for a flyer, and you can really mind rot somebody and still leave a 3/2 in play. So like it a lot. Really hope that this does well. I'm testing this out. We got Dukara Scavenger, which is just a big 4/6 that can get back one of your dudes late game. Big ol' crocodile. We got Grixis Slave Driver. I've put this into the cube, and I absolutely love it. There's so many shenanigans you can do with this, but really, you're paying 6 mana for a lot of dudes, and then you're just able to flash it back, and you're able to create a lot of creatures, and it really slows down some aggressive decks. And the last creature we have is Gurmag Angler. So that's black creatures, and now we're on to black spells, and you know the drill. It means we start with tribal. Sorry. So we start with instants, but this is a tribal instant shapeshifter. The tribal doesn't really matter. 2 mana to give a creature +3, -3 till the end of turn. This can be a pump spell, but more oftentimes it's just used as a good old-fashioned removal spell. Next we have good old Disfigure. That's just very, very efficient, kills a lot of things. Skullduggery is a really excellent combat trick. A lot of people don't expect it, and it's most powerful when you don't expect it. What I heard a lot from professional players in Ixalan Limited is that Skullduggery was really, really powerful the first month or so. And then once everybody realized that Skullduggery was a thing, it's really easy to play around. Well, the thing about Cube is that people don't know what they're going to expect. So Skullduggery is a really efficient way to trick an opponent into doing some really unprofitable blocks, and this can turn into 2-for-1s so easy. So going into the 2 mana slot, we've got Dash Hopes. This is just a pet card of mine. It's sometimes really bad. But basically, it's counter target spell unless that controller pays 5 life. And granted, I understand that there will be times where you dash hope somebody and they're at 20 and they're like, fine, I'll go down to 5. Or sorry, I'll go down by 5, go to 15, and you're still dead. But this is really, really fun in an aggro deck. You're just beating in, you put them at 7, and then they just cast something to try to stabilize, and you say dash hopes, and it's like either they pay the life and they're down to 2 and then they're just dead to any of your creatures, or they let the spell get countered and then they're dead anyways. So still just one of my favorite cards. Again, people don't expect a counterspell in black, so again, pet card, I'm leaving it in here. We got Grotesque Mutation, which is a lot of extra power, 3 extra power, 1 extra toughness, and the creature gains lifelink. Really great way to swing combat math in your favor. We got Costly Plunder. This replaced Altar's Reap because it's identical, with the exception of this allows you to sack an artifact or a creature. So a little bit more flexibility there. Also, the art is awesome, and it's so pretty in foil, so I decided to switch to Costly Plunder. We've got Victim of Night, just a catch-all removal. It doesn't kill vampires or zombies, but I don't think there's really that many werewolves in the cube, so this is basically just black kill a creature. Love it. We got good old Doomblade. You can't have a cube without Doomblade. And Murder, although that's not always true. You can have better removal spells, but at common, Murder's where it's at. I can't wait to get a Masters 25 foil of this. If you got one, hit me up. So we also have Agonizing Demise. I've been trying to figure out what 4 mana removal spell I've been wanting to put in. It's either this or Befoul. I kind of like the idea of Befoul because it's destroyed an black creature or a land, and there are Karoo lands in the cube, and so I'm kind of thinking that I want to do that. But Agonizing Demise, still, I want to test it out, see how well it's going to do. We got a good old Snuff Out. I want to get the Dual Decks version, but it's like really expensive, so we'll see. But right now, Snuff Out's great. Can't wait for this to get reprinted with better art, though. Final Reward is kind of expensive. This cube is actually quite powerful, but exiling a creature is not nothing. There's a lot of creatures that come back. There's a lot of graveyard shenanigans. Having a card that just says straight exile a creature is fantastic. So Final Reward, I also just like the art on this one. So now on to our few enchantments. We've got a Stab Wound, which is just great, puts in some great work. We've got Cartouche of Ambition, which is more and more seeing play in the sideboards of Pauper decks, because it's just a great way to just suit up one of your dudes, give it lifelink, and beat the aggro decks. Also with the -1/-1 counter that oftentimes will just kill another creature. So really, really great. I'm glad I picked up a foil before they got too expensive. I don't think they're expensive now as of the filming of this video, but I feel like in the future, foil Cartouche of Ambition is going to be more expensive, just because there's going to be a lot of them being used. But just a great aura. And good old Pestilence. You can do a lot of stuff like this, a lot of good stuff with this. Just it's a board wipe in in Pauper, and that just doesn't happen very often. I think I have this and Breath of Dirgaz, and I might be putting Evankar's Justice, but that would be the only 3 board wipes in the entire cube, if you don't count things like Electrickery. Now onto the sorceries. We've got Innocent Blood, an Edict effect. Each player has to sacrifice a creature. This isn't all that bad because in a control deck you probably don't have any creatures, so it's just 1 black you've got to sack. And hey, that rhymed. And also, if you're running the green-black variant, you can sack one of your own creatures and usually get some value from it. And so Innocent Blood is very versatile. Unearth is just a great way to get something back. It has to cost 3 or less, but most cards are quite efficient. It's just a good card. Also, if you happen to have a bunch of fat things in your graveyard, you don't want to reanimate anything, you can still just cycle it. So, just good card overall. Got a Duress. We've got a Bone Splinters, again, for the sack theme. And Chainer's Edict, another Edict effect for your opponent. It's got flashback. Just got this from the Vault version. I was going to get a regular one, and at the time of this recording, a regular Chainer's Edict is $11, and this version was only $3 more at $14. And so I figured, you know what, it's expensive, but this is a really beautiful foil. And I actually needed another Chainer's Edict for a deck of mine, so I decided to put the fancy one in here in the cube, and then the other one into a Pauper deck that I'm running. We got Wander in Death, a way to get back creatures from your graveyard. Again, if you don't need it, you can just cycle it away. Here's another one. I'm basically testing both of these out and seeing which one is better. But this one is get back 1 creature and draw a card. I kind of like this better, but we'll see how they perform. We got to Read the Bones. Great way for getting card advantage in black. And then Contract Killing. This is a choice I decided to make. A lot of decks will run Liturgy of Blood to get back. It's same converted mana cost, destroy any creature. However, you get back black into your mana pool. This is 1 less mana, but you're getting 2 treasures that you don't have to use that turn. You can use it the next turn to help ramp you, but you can also use it to fix you. And I think that's going to be a really nice addition. So, anyways, that was black. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And coming up next is, I believe, red? Yeah, we're going to be doing red next. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.